this is Lightroom, this is Capture One, and this is the final results using Photoshop. Okay, first let me explain how you can use Lightroom to balance your raw file. And for those of you like me who use Capture One to balance your raw file, I'm also going to show you how you can balance your raw file with Capture One. Once you bring your image to Lightroom or any raw file processing software out there, the first thing you have to do is analyze your image and see what needs to be fixed. Now, obviously, looking at this image, I feel the image is underexposed. I'm just going to fix the exposure and make it balanced. The first thing I'm going to do, make sure your develop is selected. So if you use your library, just click on this develop right here and it's going to show you where you can actually edit your image. So I'll just come to my exposure tab at the right side of Lightroom right here and just increase the exposure a little bit like this. I'm going to take it up like this. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come to my shadow and just open up the shadow a little bit as well. Because like this, the shadow is underexposed, so I'm just going to open up the shadow. And also I'll come to my blacks and just open up the blacks like this just to balance the image. And I'll come to my highlight and just take down my highlight. And I'll come to my white, I'll open up my white like this. Now this is a detailed step-by-step tutorial, and if you need this raw file, I'll be leaving a link where you can download this raw file from Ncourage website in the description below of this video. Okay, now let's see where we started from and where we are right now. Now if you want to see your before and after Lightroom, just press the slash key on your keyboard to see your before and after. Okay, that's all I'll be doing for this image in Lightroom. Now let me show you how you can do the same thing inside of Capture One. So this is our Capture One. The first thing you're going to do, just come to your adjustment right here and just first of all increase the exposure. We're going to be doing similar things with Lightroom and Capture One. So increase the exposure like this. Then come to your shadows, open up your shadow, open up your blacks, bring down your highlights, and open up your whites. So I feel the shadow is too much right now, so I'm going to come to my shadows and just take my shadow down a little bit like this. So this is before and after of Capture One. And for Capture One, if you want to see if your image is overexposed, just click on this exposure one right here. I'm just going to show you the part that are overexposed. So if I zoom, you can see these parts that are red right now. It means those parts are overexposed. So what I can do, I can just go to my highlights and just take my highlights down a little bit so you can see it's reducing. So you can take it all the way down if you want, but I'm going to leave it like this because it's not really affecting it. So this is the before and this is the after. So that's all I'll do with Capture One for this particular image. So I'm just going to open it in Photoshop right now and just do this skin retouching. Now that I'm in Photoshop, let's fix the skin by removing the blemishes, doing our focus separation, and also color this image. Not just that, we're going to make the eye pop and just make the image pop in general. Now before we continue, let me know which software you use to process your raw file. Do you use Lightroom or you use Capture One? Let me know in the comment section. Alright, now to remove the blemishes for this image, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate my layer by pressing on Ctrl J. To duplicate my layer. I don't like working directly on my background layer. Now you can choose to remove your blemishes at this point, but I prefer using focus separation to remove my blemishes. Now if you want to remove your blemishes from this point, you can just pick your spot healing brush tool and just paint over the blemishes you want to remove, and it's just going to remove that blemishes like that. So if I just zoom, you can see the before and the after. It's going to remove those blemishes, the before and the after. Or you can use your patch tool, or you can use your close stamp tool. But for me, I prefer to use focus separation to remove my blemishes, and I advise you start using focus separation to remove your blemishes. But if you're on a deadline and you want to deliver your image quickly as possible, just go ahead and remove your blemishes from this particular piece. But just try and use focus separation to remove your blemishes and just see the difference you're going to get from your image. Just try it out. Now to remove my blemishes, I have focus separation action and I also have the Retouching Academy, so you can use whichever focus separation that works for you. And also any action I use for this video, I'm going to be leaving it in the description below so you can download it for free. So I just come to my action and just click on focus separation 16 bits because this image is 16-bit image. So you can see it right here is 16. Or you can come to image and just click on mode and you're going to see if your image is 8-bit or 16-bit. Now, since this image is 16-bit, I'm just going to come to my action and just click on Teelens 16-bit action like this. And for the Gaussian blur radius, if you want your image to be smooth, use a lower blur radius. If you want to rotate texture or your image, use a high blur radius. So for now, for this image, I'm going to use focus separation blur radius of about 10 and click on OK. Now, next thing I'm going to do, just pick your close stamp tool. Once you pick your close stamp tool, make sure you're using a soft line brush. Make sure your mode is on normal, opacity is set to 100, flow is set to 100, and current layer is selected. and just come to your toolbar and make sure your high frequency separation copy is selected. That is, if you are using my action, make sure your high frequency is selected, because frequency separation will separate the colors and the texture, and the textures is the high frequency while the colors is the low frequency. Since we want to work on the texture, so make sure your high frequency layer is selected, which is this first one right here. So I'm going to zoom in. My close stamp tool selected. I'm just going to press alternate on my keyboard to sample from a close by area and just paint on the blemishes to remove it. So alternate to sample and paint like that to remove blemishes from the image. Alternate to sample and paint. Press alternate, sample and brush, and you can increase and decrease your brush size with the square bracket key according to the blemishes you want to remove from your image. And also, just a quick tip, make sure if you are removing your blemishes, just take your time to do it, because it is the foundation of everything. Just take your time to do it. And like I said, this is a detailed tutorial and I'm just going to explain it step by step. Now for this dark part of the eyes, I'm just going to sample from a close by area and just brush on it to remove it like this. Sample and just brush to remove it. Let me do the same thing for this other part. Sample and paint like this, and I'm going to use micrododge and burn to make the color look even, to make it even more brighter, because right now that place is looking dark. All right, so basically what I'm doing, I'm using alternates to sample and just removing the blemishes, alternates to sample to remove blemishes, alternate to sample, remove blemishes. That's what I'm doing right now. So just do it for your image. Okay, now see the before and see the after. The before and the after. Now you can see the lines right here. I took it out with the close stamp tool. So everything I did for this image right now was using the close stamp tool. So the before and the after. So we remove the blemishes for this image. Now next thing I'm going to do, we're just going to use micrododge and burn to fix those parts that are looking too bright and fix those parts that are looking too dark, just to make it look even. Now look at under the eyes right here. You can see it's looking too dark. So I'm going to fix it using micrododge and burn. And also you can see this part right here looking too bright. So I'm just going to fix it using micrododge and burn. Let's do it. So I'll come back to my action again and I'll click micrododge and burn. And I'm just going to pick my normal brush tool. Make sure my opacity is set to 100. And flow, I'm going to change to 2%. And also, I'm going to be using a soft round brush. So just zoom in. Make sure your foreground color is set to white and not black, because the layer mask is on black. So make sure your foreground color is set to white. So mine is on white right now, and my dodge is selected. So I'm going to use my square bracket key to increase and decrease my brush size according to the part which I want to dodge and burn. So I want to dodge under the eye. So I'm going to paint on this part right here, just to dodge under the eye and make it more brighter, like so. Okay, let me show you so you can see what I'm doing. So this was the before and the after. The before and the after. Now I believe you get an idea of what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to paint on it and come to my burn. I'm going to burn this part. Also come to my dodge. I'm going to dodge this part. Also I come to this part right here. I'm going to burn this part, and I'm going to cut my dodge. I'm going to dodge this part right here. So just look at your image and see where you need to brighten and where you need to darken. And also you can also use a check layer, a black and white check layer, to see where to dodge and where to burn if you don't already know. So just come to your adjustment layer, click on black and white adjustment layer right here. Once you click on black and white adjustment layer, you can just take the reds down a little bit like this. And right now, those dark parts are the part that are looking too dark, while those bright parts are the part that are looking too bright. So you can just dodge them like this. So if I come to my dodge and burn again, once I come to my burn, this part right here is looking too bright. I can see it from this black and white layer. I'm just going to burn this particular place right here. And also this part is looking too dark, so I'm going to cut my dodge and just dodge this particular place right here. But since I'll still be using focus separation to retouch this image, I'm just going to quickly run through it like so. Just fix the obvious place, and later I'm going to use focus separation to smoothen out the skin. Okay, now let's see. This is the before and the after. Before and the after. Now I'm going to be using my mixer brush to smoothen it out even more. So I'll just come to my focus separation again. I click on focus separation 16 bits and just click on 10. Click on OK. pick my mixer brush tool right here. Make sure this clean brush after each stroke is selected. My weight is on 30, my load is on 20, my mix is on 90, it doesn't really matter, and my flow is on 30, and this place right here is on 10, and sample all layer is selected. Now the reason why my sample all layer is selected is because I'm working on an empty layer. But if you're working directly on the low frequency, it doesn't matter if sample all layer is selected or not. But if you're working directly on this empty layer, make sure sample all layer is selected. If not, if you brush, it's not going to work. Alright, now I'm just going to turn off my high texture layer by clicking on this eye icon right here. So once I turn it off, it's just going to show me only the color like this. So I'm not seeing texture on the image again. I'm seeing just the colors on the image. Because I'm working on the colors and not the high frequency which contains the texture. That's why I turn it off. Now to brush, let me just turn it on. Now to brush, I'm going to brush in the highlight separately and the shadow separately. Now if I want to brush the highlight, I'm going to brush it like this for the highlights. And for the shadows, I'm going to brush like this for the shadows. So I'm going to be brushing it like this. So that's the direction I'm going to be brushing on, like that, if I want to brush the shadows. And also the same thing for the metals. I'm going to brush the metals separately. And if I want to brush this side as well, I'm going to brush these highlights like this. And the shadow, I'm going to brush the shadow like this. I just want you to get the point. Alright. Now I'm going to pick my mixer brush tool again. Just turn off my high texture layer with my mixer brush selected. And also make sure to increase and decrease your brush size according to the parts you want to work on. So use a scroll bracket key to increase and decrease your brush size. If I want, let me run it again. If I want to work on a smaller portion of the image, like this highlight on the nose, I'm going to reduce my brush size. And if I want to work on a bigger portion of the image, I'm going to increase my brush size like that. Alright. Now let's brush. You can see my brush size for this shadow right here, like this. So I'm going to brush this shadow area like this, just to smoothen it out. Okay. And also this highlights, you can see I've reduced my brush size because I want to paint on this highlights right here on the cheek. So I'm just going to paint on it like this, and also paint on the transition just like that. Okay, now I'm going to brush on this shadow right here as well. You can see I'm just increasing and decreasing my brush size according to the part I'm working on. It's very important. Make sure you are decreasing and increasing your brush size according to the place you are actually working on. You can see the highlight on the nose. I reduce my brush size, so just reduce your brush size like so as well. So if you have any question, let me know in the comment section below. Also for the cheek, I'm just going to brush the cheek like this. So you can zoom in if you want. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit and just paint on this highlight right here like this. Now let's see the before and after of what we've done. Let's see. So this is the before and this is the after. The before and the after. So it's still not looking as smooth as I want it to be. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to close this focus separation and create another one. So I'll come to my action again, click on focus separation 16 bits. Now this time, instead of using 10, I'm going to use 8 and just click on OK. And the same thing, turn off your high texture layer, pick a mixer brush tool and just brush on your image. Now with this, I hope you know you can actually do more than one focus separation to retouch your image. So until you feel comfortable with your image, run as many focus separation actions as you want until you get the right thing you are looking for. Right? Now I want this image to be more smoother, so I'm going to paint with a smaller blur radius until I get it. And if I try this one, it doesn't work, I'm going to run on that one again until I get it. Alright? So let's just brush on the shadow. Okay, I feel it's looking much more better right now. So this is the before and this is the after. And I'm just going to zoom in on the eyes right here. With my high frequency layer selected, I'll pick my close stamp tool and just try and remove this dark part of the eye one more time. Alright, now I'll go to my mixer brush again and just paint on that particular place just to smoothen it out. Okay, it's looking better like this. So the before and the after, the before and the after. The next I'm going to do, I'm going to run my portraiture. So I'm going to merge my brush shade layer and my low frequency layer. Now to merge with my brush shade layer selected, I'm going to hold Ctrl and click on my low frequency and just press on Ctrl E. I'm just going to merge them. Now I'll come to my filter, I'll come to my imagonic and I'll click on portraiture. Now I'm going to click on OK. Now it's just going to add a little of smoothness to my image. Okay, now let me just group our screen retouching so you can see the before and after. So this is the before and the after, the before and the after. And if you want your image to be more smooth, run on that focus separation again and use a smaller Gaussian blur radius for a smoother result. But I like having texture on my image, so I like it like this. Now next I'm going to do, we are going to retouch the eyes. We're just going to make it white and make it pop. And to do that, I'll come to my action again. I'll click on eyes and teeth and just pick my normal brush tool. Make sure opacity is set to 100, flow is set to 100, and make sure your foreground color is set to white, and just paint on the white part of the eyes like so. Now after that, I'm just going to reduce the opacity because I feel it's looking too much, and then I'll click on my properties and just feather it a little bit like this to smoothen out the edges. Now the next thing I'm going to do for the eyes, I'm just going to cut my adjustment layer. I'll click on my curves adjustment layer and just take it up like this and just invert it by pressing on Ctrl I to invert, and just pick my normal brush tool. So I just want to reveal that effect only on the catch light of the eyes. So I'm going to paint on the catch light of the eyes like this and like this as well. Alright, now see the before and the after, the before and the after. So let me group my eyes retouching so you can see the eyes. So the before and the after, the before and the after. Now next I'm going to do, I'm going to create a stamp visible layer by pressing on Ctrl Shift Alternate E. And with my remove tool, I'm just going to remove this eyelashes right here. I really don't like it, so I'm just going to remove the eyelash right here with my remove tool. So I'm just going to paint on it like this and just going to remove it. So this is the before and this is the after. Looking so much better now. Now it's time to color grade this image. So to color grade this image, I'm going to come to my filter. I click on convert or smart filter. I'm just going to convert this layer to smart filter, and I'm going to come to my filter again and I'll click on camera filter. Now once my camera open, I'm going to come down all the way to calibration and just move the saturation of the blue primary up like this. Okay, 58 works. Then I'll come to my color mixer right here and just take the saturation of the oranges down, because if I show you the files, I can see right now the skin tone is now looking too reddish, which I don't really like. So this is the before and this is the after, but the rest colors on the image are popping, so you can see the dress, the before and the after. You can see the accessories on the neck, the before and the after. Everything looks nice except the skin tone. So I really don't like the skin tone, it's looking too reddish. So I'll come to my saturation and just come to the oranges and just take it all the way down a little bit. And the reason why I targeted the oranges is because skin tone consists of reds, oranges and yellows, mostly oranges. So I just took the saturation down to 18. Now see the before and the after, the before and the after. I think I like it like this, so I'm going to click on OK. Alright, this is the before and this is the after. Now next I'm going to do, I'm going to come to my action again. I just click on this rich tone right here. So when I click on this rich tone, it's just going to make the image dark and make it rich, so you can see the before and the after. But I feel it's looking too dark right now. I really don't like it like this. I'm just going to come to my opacity and just reduce the opacity to about let's use 10 works. So this is the before and this is the after, the before and the after. So I like it like this. That's all the color grading I'll be doing for this image. You can color grade your image the way you want. Color grading is personal. You can just color grade it the way you want. But that's all I'll be doing for this image for the color grading. So let me just group my color grading so you can see before and after. So this is the before and the after, the before and the after. Now it's time to make this image pop. Now to add some pop to your image, I'm going to create a stamp visible layer by pressing on Ctrl Shift Alternate E. After I create that, I'm just going to cut my action. I'm going to click on this Oshapo face mask right here. Once I click on it, it's just going to load the action. All you have to do is pick a normal brush tool, opacity set to 100, flow set to 100, and this time just paint on only the face on the image, just to add a little bit of texture and just make it pop the way you want. Okay. So let me just show you the before and after. So this is the before and this is the after. If you feel it's too much, you can just reduce the opacity a little bit like this. And next thing we are going to do, I'm going to create another stamp visible layer, and this time I want to make the eyes and the lips and the nose pop. So just press on Ctrl Shift Alternate E again to create another stamp visible layer, and just come to your action and just click on this sharpen eyes and lips like this. I'm just going to load the action, pick a normal brush tool, and this time just paint on only the eyes like this part of the nose and the lips like this. So this is the before and this is the after, the before and the after. So let me just group that so you can see. So this is the before and the after. And this is just a bonus tip. If you still want your image to be smooth, all you have to do is create another stamp visible layer by pressing on Ctrl Shift Alternate E. Come to your camera filter. Once your camera filter, just click on your preset right here and click on your adaptive subject right here and just click on soft right here. Once you click on soft, your image is going to be a lot smoother. So this is the before and the after, the before and the after. And you can choose to add strength to it. So if you want it to be too much, you can just move this slider all the way up to 200 and it's going to be more softer. So this is the before and this is the after. And this is the after. If you want your image to be less softer, just take the slider down a little bit and it's going to be less softer. So the before and the after. I'll click on OK. Now to save your image for Instagram, all you have to do is come to your file, click on export and click for save for web legacy. And make sure progressive is selected, enable color profile selected, and for quality you can use 70 to 85, but I prefer to use 75. 75 works for me, and just click on save. And if you want to learn how to retouch your hair, click on this video right here. I'll see you guys in my next one. Stay creative.